Welcome, PFL fight fans, to the weigh-in show for our PFL World Tournament here in 2025. Once again, we are in Orlando, Florida, host of the first 4 rounds of the World Tournament. Last week, it was bantamweights and women's flyweights. Flyweights before the fight, not after that cinnamon roll, though. An incredible fight night last Friday, and we've got another one on deck for you tomorrow night, coming from Universal Studios in the City Beautiful. Fighters already in the building here for the weigh-ins. Dalton Rasta and Sada Boussi will square off in a middleweight tilt as the 185-pound division returns to the PFL. And our main event also at middleweight, Impa Kasanganay, former PFL light heavyweight champion, against Fabian Edwards, longtime Bellator middleweight challenger. Stellar main event there.
Let's take all these guys out. 1, 2, and 3. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when. Doesn't matter if they bring a new horse in the race. I am on a warpath.
No, obviously I know he's a nice lad. I'm a nice lad, but it's about going in and taking him out.
I'm a character and I'm a entertaining fighter, and I'm not like all these other fake motherfuckers. What you see is what you get, and that's it.
Before Maldives would go to war or battle, they would do a huckin'. They would eat you after we kill you.
J.J. Wilson is the trophy. 3 straight weeks of action in Orlando. It's middleweights and lightweights up next. Middleweight returning to the PFL for the first time since our inaugural season, and the lightweights, well, as most of you fight fans know, traditionally perhaps the deepest division in all of mixed martial arts. Our weigh-in stage has been set. Fighters in the building ready to get on the scales, and we are ready to go. Sean O'Connell, Dan Hardy, Randy Couture. We're in Florida. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the tragedy that has unfolded in this state, in Tallahassee. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone involved. And of course, we call for meaningful change to mitigate and reduce the gun violence in the United States of America. Sports can only provide a distraction from the more meaningful and, of course, these tragic things in life. And we will do our best over the next couple of days with these weigh-ins and, of course, with the fights tomorrow night to take everyone's mind off of those horrible things and that tragedy. That's all we can do, is keep going. That's what we're intending to do tonight and tomorrow night in the Professional Fighters League cage. And we do so with the return of the middleweight division and the lightweight division, but the first 2 weeks have delivered. The numbers do not lie. 16 fights, 11 finishes. 4 of those have come by a knockout or TKO, 7 of those by submission. So some grappling results here in the early goings of our 2025 PFL World Tournament. For the math whizzes out there, that is nearly a 70% finish rate, and both of these divisions featured tonight traditionally do have a high finish rate. Here's our middleweight bracket. Impa Kasanganay, Fabian Edwards. Josh Silveira is back at the weight class that probably fits his frame best against Shipman. Sada Boussi, he was part of season 1 at 185 pounds, and then he went to welterweight, won a title, tried to move all the way up to light heavyweight. Now he's back at 185 as well. He'll take on Hercules, Dalton Rasta. Jeffrey and Ramazanov, 2 men looking to advance to the semifinals, just like these main event participants are. Impa Kasanganay, he's fought at middleweight plenty. He went up to 205 and won a PFL championship. Fabian Edwards came up just short in his bid for Bellator Gold. And now we get them squaring off in the first round, which of course means only one of these fighters advances. Randy Couture.
Yeah, absolutely. Impa Kasanganai from the Challenger Series and living in a yurt to a millionaire in a world championship in 2023, finalist in 2024, naturally heavy hands, amazing conditioning and composure, and one of the smartest fighters you're ever going to talk about or talk with. And this is a thinking man's game. Fabian Edwards, his younger brothers brought home the gold. He is dying to bring home that gold as well. He's got a great shot here this season in the World Championship tournament.
And you can see the finish rate as we look at the fight by the numbers. Dan Hardy, both of these guys are looking to fight intelligently but don't want to be here for 3 rounds.
It's one of the most exciting fights on the card, along with this one as well. You know, Sadabusi back in his natural weight class. Dalton Roster, I was talking to him yesterday at the weigh-ins. He says he is the best middleweight on the planet, and this is his opportunity to show it. But the danger of backing Sadabusi up against the fence is that he's got brutal kicks and knees to the body. Now, Dalton Roster's got great aggression moving forward. He knows he can back that up with his wrestling, but of course he's got to be super cautious with Sadabusi, who we know his striking is incredible, but of course his takedown defense has always been improving over these last several years because everyone's trying to close him down. What a fight that's going to be.
And nobody's been part of the PFL world longer than Sadabusi. He was here in 2018. He's still chasing championships in 2025. So this is very much veteran versus prospect. Look at the numbers, differences here. How about that total cage time? 5+ hours of SmartCage time for Sadabusi and 90 minutes for Dalton Roster. By the way, Randy, that's just Sadabusi's time in MMA. He has an entire lifetime of kickboxing experience as well. So veteran versus prospect indeed. Here's how it looks at lightweight. Primus versus Sensi, Collard and Alfie. Clay Collard versus Alfie Davis is going to be chaos. That's going to be ridiculous. Can't wait for that fight. Gadzi Rabadanov, last year's PFL champion at 155 pounds against Mark Jacasey, making his long-awaited tournament debut. And Mads Burnell, J.J. Wilson. Let's look at this first-round matchup. Gadzi Rabadanov and Mark Jacasey. These guys talking to him this week. It's going to be an incredibly high-level and I think aggressive approach, Randy.
Absolutely. These lightweights are going to get after it. Don't blink because they are fast as greased lightning. Rabadanov coming out of the Nurmagomedov camp, last year's champ at this division. And Jacasey thinks he's got everything, a more well-rounded game. He's going to try and test him, put some pressure on him, and see if he can break Rabadanov. It's going to be a very, very fast-paced fight.
Man, the left hook on Rabadanov, though, is going to be a real interesting thing for Jacasey to work around. And then this is for me flying under the radar. Mads Burnell brings action every single time. J.J. Wilson, an intense fighter, aggressive and explosive from the outside. Of course, he's got his wrestling, his grappling to back it up. But the problem with Mads Burnell is how do you deal with the pressure? He gets right in people's faces, and now he's moved up to the lightweight division. His body's got time to breathe and time to recover. He feels much better and much stronger at this, which only allows him to keep that pressure on. And J.J. Wilson is a fighter that loves to be under pressure. I think this one might steal the show, guys.
Well, again, talking with both of those guys, promises made that this is going to be an incredibly exciting lightweight affair. And, of course, we get it tomorrow night. Jonathan Coachman, Kennedy Smith, both in the building. I don't even know I don't know what the official title is. He is, to me, simply the man, the myth, the legend, the coach.
Hey, I'll take it. John, I will absolutely take it, guys. Great to see you again for week number 3 in a row. It's great to be back here with you. Now, kind of 2 words have resonated with me this week. Casual intensity. It emanates off all of these middleweights and of these lightweights. Now, as always, I come in early, sit down with many of the fighters for coaches' conversations. They are not worried to a man about the fighter across the SmartCage. They simply are not. Now, we have 3 former champions on this card, and there is also a quiet confidence as they have climbed the mountain before, albeit a different one, and they know what it takes to avoid the pitfalls of getting to the title and the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Now, with more on one half of our main event, let's welcome in for the first time this week, Kennedy Smith. Kennedy, good evening.
Good evening, Coach. Guys, I'm standing by here with Impa Kasanganov. I'm curious, how is your body feeling right now coming back into this middleweight class again?
Feel better than ever. Dialed in, it's feels like I'm fighting again, right? I can't, 205 is you're just eating to keep your weight up, but middleweight's where I need to be.
Feeling like you can be a lot faster at this weight?
A lot faster, sharper. I can definitely feel like the most athletic version of myself, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
What's your take on your opponent, Fabian Edwards?
Fabian Edwards, excellent opponent. Obviously has great training. Brother's the champion. I'm looking forward to it. Sharp counter striker, has a full MMA package. You know, looking forward to this challenge ahead and getting this victory.
So we have PFL All Access on you today, tomorrow, cameras following you all around. How's that experience been so far?
It's cool. It's like, you know, what you pray for when you're young, like to be at the top, and then you start seeing like your favorite athletes get followed around. Now we're in this moment, so I'm owning it, and, you know, believing that, you know, it's going to be throughout like this throughout the whole season, so the whole tournament. So I'm dialed in.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Sean, what you got for me?
Well, what I have for you is another look at the lightweight bracket. We're about to get the 155ers to the scale. Remember, no wiggle room, no points. The new format is a traditional Olympic-style tournament. Win in advance, or lose and you go home. Greg Hamilton gets our weigh-ins going.
Hey, thank you, Sean. And listen, fight fans, I know I speak for all of us when I say that tomorrow night cannot get here soon enough. But we've got the official business of weigh-ins to do first. So please help me welcome the PFL president of fighter operations, Ray Sefo, accompanied by our ring girls, Brittany and Janie. Kicking things off in the lightweight bracket. Brent Primus will square off against Benicia Sensi. Fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Benicia Sensi.
Brent Primus with 2 KOs and 8 submissions to his record. He's amazing at front choking people.
It's going to be a real challenge to see if Sensi can deal with that wrestling pressure.
Sensi weighing in at 155 3/4 pounds. Next, fighting out of the red corner, Brent Primus.
Seemed like he was in a real good place this morning when we spoke to Brent Primus. He just seems dialed in way more than he was last year and knows what he's got in front of him, knows the challenge that he has to deal with.
Primus tipping the scales at 155 1/2 pounds.
This fight came together last minute for Benicia Sensi. He's very excited about the opportunity, but a grappling specialist, a choke artist, can he get Primus to the ground and wrap the limbs around that neck? We'll see.
Ray Sefo makes it official tomorrow night. Brent Primus versus Benicia Sensi. Staying in the lightweight bracket, Clay Collard versus Alfie Davis. Fighting out of the blue corner, first please welcome Alfie Davis.
Long-range striker Alfie Davis. He's going to be trying to snipe and move. He's been training with Brad Pickett in the lead up to this, one of his original MMA coaches. But there's no doubt the skills that Alfie Davis brings to the cage, long-range striking.
Davis steps on the scale at 155 1/2 pounds. His opponent in the red corner, Clay Collard.
Collard is one of the most exciting fighters to see coming out of that tunnel and walk into the SmartCage. He's relocated his family to Utah. That's given him more time to spend with his family, and less time traveling on the road allowed him to refocus and really prepare for this World Championship tournament.
Collard also weighing in at 155 1/2 pounds.
We know both of these fighters are always looking to deliver an exciting fight, but both men also express the desire to fight intelligently and to win and advance in this world tournament.
It is official live in the SmartCage tomorrow night. Clay Collard versus Alfie Davis. Also in the lightweight bracket, Mads Burnell will square off against JJ Wilson. Fighting out of the blue corner, JJ Wilson.
Good to see JJ back in action. Oh, and I like a good outfit for the weigh-in, Sean. That looks pretty smart.
Wilson stands in at a weight of 156 pounds. His opponent in the red corner, Mads Burnell.
We got the Morari. I said that wrong, but
Maori versus the Viking.
And the Viking, which is an amazing matchup. Mads is wide open as they come. Amazing boxing skills and just a down-to-earth guy to talk to.
Burnell weighing in at 155 3/4 pounds.
And you can see how much J.J. Wilson leans into that Maori heritage. Mads Purnell unimpressed by the showmanship.
So tomorrow night, Mads Purnell will square off against J.J. Wilson. Next, also in the lightweight bracket, your co-main event of the evening, Gaji Rabadanov taking on Mark Diakese. First, fighting out of the blue corner, Mark Diakese.
Mark Diakese, long anticipated to be part of this PFL World Tournament. He's been preparing for it a lot longer than most people have. He knew that he was going to take a little bit of a layoff. He was going to get ready even last year for this opportunity. Hopes to move on.
Diakese tips the scales at 155 1/4 pounds. And his opponent in the red corner, Gaji Rabadanov.
We've been butchering Rabadanov's name for a couple of seasons now. I'm glad we finally got it right. Here's our 2024 lightweight champ, Nurmagomedov team, a Dagestani with everything you would expect he brings to the SmartCage.
Gaji Rabadanov weighs in at 156 pounds.
One man will advance after this incredible lightweight feature. First round of the PFL World Tournament. Rabadanov, Diakese. High stakes.
And there you have it. That means your co-main event is official. Gaji Rabadanov versus Mark Diakese.
I'm here with Mark Diakese. Mark, that was a little less intense yesterday, perhaps, less trash talking, but you were locked in with the eye contact. How are you feeling today after yesterday's face-off?
I'm more than prepared for this. He knows what he's got in front of him, and that's why he's nervous. I'm ready. I've been to this stage before. I know what it is like, so I'm ready. He's got pressure. I haven't. You know what I mean? He's got the pressure on him. I'm good. I'm ready to perform.
So he's got pressure on his shoulders, and your game plan is to put that pressure on him. Are you planning on that from the first round?
From the get-go, I'm gonna put pressure on him. He said he's gonna test he's gonna break me, but we're gonna see tomorrow.
I'm excited for this fight. Good luck. Coach, over to you.
Dan, thank you very much. I'm here with Gaji Rabadanov. Now, you just heard what Mark said, what you said. You're going to break him. How do you plan on doing that?
I'll do this. I'll do this. It's going to be a long night for my opponent. I'll do this.
Now, you are the defending champion in this division. You are now the hunted, no longer the hunter. Do you feel that kind of pressure?
No, I'm very excited to be here again, and I will do this again. I'll steal again.
All right, very good. That is our co-main event of the evening. And these two right now, all kinds of intense, Sean O'Connell.
Rabadanov, Diakese will be the co-main event. Our main event will happen in this division. Middleweight returning to the PFL for the first time since 2018. There's another look at our bracket and the featured matchups. We'll get these 185ers to the scale with Greg Hamilton.
Let's switch gears now to the middleweight bracket, where we will see Aaron Jeffrey versus Murad Ramazanov. Fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Murad Ramazanov.
I'm interested to see Ramazanov at this weight class, right? I mean, he's not got the height for middleweight, but he's definitely got the depth to his frame. I feel like he's going to be very powerful.
Ramazanov tips the scales at 185 1/4 pounds. His opponent in the red corner, Aaron Jeffrey.
It's got to be heavy wrestling pressure from the get-go for Aaron Jeffrey, right? You've got to think he's going to use his size advantage potentially to put Ramazanov on the back foot.
His length for sure, but he's got 9 KOs to his credit too, so.
And Jeffrey weighing in at 185 1/2 pounds.
Jeffrey making his PFL debut after a long stint with Bellator. Ramazanov moving up to the middleweight division after a chase for the title at 170.
Ray Steffo makes it official. Aaron Jeffrey will square off against Murad Ramazanov tomorrow night live. Staying in that middleweight bracket, Josh Silveira versus Mike Shipman. First, fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Mike Shipman.
Now, Mike Shipman's got a few different styles to his fighting. He can play that long-range darting in like MVP, but he can also fight in the pocket as well, and I think he's going to be forced to fight in the pocket in this bout.
And Shipman tips the scales at 186 pounds. His opponent fighting out of the red corner, Josh Silveira.
Silveira, finalist in 2023 in the light heavyweight division, comes down to his more natural weight of 185, brings that pedigree from Arizona State Wrestling. Will that be enough to get him the win?
And Silveira weighing in at 185.5 pounds.
Josh Silveira was showing off his abs. We didn't see those when he was fighting at 205 pounds. Interesting note, if he can win this fight, he will advance potentially to take on Impa Kasanganay. If Impa is also victorious, they've got beef.
That makes it official tomorrow night. Josh Silveira versus Mike Shipman. Next in the middleweight bracket, Sadabusi versus Dalton Rasta. Fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Dalton Rasta.
Now, if you speak to Dalton Rasta this week, he's talking about the fact that he's the best middleweight. This is the emergence of a new star. Of course, he's got the physicality, the look, the talk, all of the technical potential. Beating Sadabusi is a real challenge, though.
Rasta stands in at 185.5 pounds. His opponent in the red corner, Sadabusi.
2022 PFL welterweight champion in Sadabusi. Now back up to middleweight, the weight class he probably should have been in all the time. How he made 170 is beyond me, but the long-range weapons this guy has is ridiculous.
And C weighs in at 185.75 pounds.
Randy, to that point, Sadabusi really had to be so careful to make 170 pounds, and then he decided to move up to light heavyweight last year, and that was too big, too hard to bulk to that range. 185 is the weight class for Sadabusi, and we've seen him here before, but we did not see him with great takedown defense in this weight class before. Now he's got it.
It's official. Sadabusi, Dalton Rasta, live tomorrow night.
Rasta's trying to get in Sadabusi's head.
Now it's time for your main event, where we will see Impa Kasanganay versus Fabian Edwards. First in the blue corner, Fabian Edwards.
Randy, and speaking with Fabian Edwards, one of the most interesting things about the conversation was how he feels like he truly is better than Impa Kasanganay everywhere. Not impressed with the power, not impressed with the cardio, not impressed in general with Impa Kasanganay, who, remember, was a PFL light heavyweight champion.
Edwards weighing in at 185.5 pounds. His opponent fighting out of the red corner, Impa Kasanganay.
Impa Kasanganay, the 2023 light heavyweight champion and 2024 light heavyweight finalist. He's a well-rounded fighter with naturally heavy hands. Is he going to have what it takes to advance?
Kasanganay also tipping the scales at 185.5 pounds.
Impa Kasanganay back down at his natural weight of 185 pounds. Fabian Edwards, he's been holding his place in the middleweight division for a long time. Who emerges victorious? We find out tomorrow.
And tomorrow night's main event is official. Impa Kasanganay versus Fabian Edwards.
All right, I'm here with one half of your main event, Fabian Edwards. A lot of people talking about this fight, a lot of excitement about this matchup. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people are so interested in this bout?
I think two strikers put together makes for a great fight, so that's why everyone's on about it, you know.
And now you've seen Impa this week, you've sized him up. He was a light heavyweight. Do you feel like there's any advantages there for him size-wise? Do you feel like this is a perfectly even matchup for you?
Who look big there? Me or him? Yeah, answer that question. Who look big? So fuck that weight division. I don't give a shit, you know what I mean?
So how do you introduce yourself to the PFL fans and let people remember your name?
I go in there and I dominate that man for 15 minutes or until I finish him, and that's it.
I'm excited for you. Good luck. Coach, over to you.
Dan, thank you very much. Now, yesterday, Fabian told me, Impa, that he is just simply a better fighter than you are. What would be your response to that?
I'm not here to talk. Fabian's an excellent fighter, he is. But tomorrow when I claim victory, you'll see.
Now, the last couple of years, you've gone from relative unknown to now one of the faces of the PFL. You're in the main event tomorrow night. What can people at home live on ESPN expect from you?
My sharpest self, most locked in self, claim this victory, move forward.
You're probably in the deepest division of this entire world tournament. How difficult do you think, top to bottom, this truly is?
I believe it's one of the best divisions in the world, especially at middleweight. Excellent fighters, Fabian included. I mean, you look at both sides of the bracket, nobody's to sleep on, right? So I'm dialed in, and that's what you come here for, right? You want to fight the best, the killers. He's a killer, I'm a killer. Tomorrow you'll see.
That's the attitude you're looking for. One half of our main event, Impa Kasanganay taking on Fabian Edwards in our main event live tomorrow night on ESPN. Sean O'Connell, we'll send it back over to you.
Who buzzing for that main event tomorrow night as we take another look at the middleweight bracket. Kasanganay, Edwards, Silveira, Shipman, Sadabusi, Dalton Rasta, Jeffrey Ramazanov. And a theme that has emerged in this middleweight division is you have a bunch of guys returning to the weight class that they are most naturally fit to be competitors in. That's true of Impa, of Silveira, of Ramazanov, of Sadabu. Woo! Let's see who advances tomorrow night. Kennedy Smith has more on our main event.
Fabian Edwards is a man on a mission. He is coming into this PFL tournament with one mission in mind: prove the haters wrong.
Yeah, my opponent, Impa.
Oh my goodness! Kasanganay has done it!
It's funny because a few days before I found out who I was fighting, I said to my coach, I want to fight Impa. He's a striker. I'm a striker. Him coming off a loss and me coming off a loss, I do think we both got something to prove to ourselves. I think the only way to prove the haters wrong is just by doing what I'm doing. You can have these close fights, but no one cares if you lose. You know what I mean? It only matters if you win, and I still believe I'm one of the best out there. But my whole take is, if I go in there and take out the hardest guy, that can set the tone for everyone else. I'm coming. You know what? I never say much about my opponent. I just kind of say, be ready.
Fabian Edwards told me this morning he's ready to get into this cage and throw some elbows. Now, if you want to watch the full story by PFL Origins, go ahead and check out the PFL YouTube channel. Sean?
All right, thank you, Kennedy. It's crazy. I've said this in our first two shows. I'll say it again. The new tournament format means that in that main event, either Impa Kasanganay or Fabian Edwards is eliminated for 2025. That's the craziest thing about it, and we haven't even seen the fight yet, Dan.
It is wild. I mean, it's put so much pressure on these fighters, and, you know, this is the way that it is in martial arts. You're only as good as your last bout, and every single one of these fighters, they need a great performance tomorrow so they can continue with the rest of their successful year. But there's a lot of pressure that comes with that.
I've been very impressed with how the fighters in the Professional Fighters League have stepped up from the regular season, playoff, and championship format we used to have to now. You get one shot. No room for error, rather. You got to do it. 3 fights in 5 months, and these guys embrace that grind and get it done.
185 pounds, the middleweight division is back. That's some of the most versatile athletes in the sport, right? These are guys with a lot of power, but still deep gas tanks, great wrestling. You're going to see some incredible stylistic matchups at 185. And if you've been watching mixed martial arts for any amount of time, you know that 155, that is the deepest weight class perhaps in the world in the sport. You've got incredible performers all over the 155-pound division, and we've got some featured matchups as we pit them against one another in the World Tournament here for 2025. Here's a look at our early card. This will start at 5 Eastern on ESPN Plus exclusively. Watley and Caruso, that's a lightweight alternate fight. And then we get right to the middleweight action for the tournament. Aaron Jeffrey or Murad Ramazanov will advance. Tournament fight at lightweight, tournament fight at middleweight between Silveira and Shipman. And then we get to the main card on ESPN, and we'll simulcast it on ESPN Plus. 7 Eastern, Clay Collard, Alfie Davis, Mads Burdell, J.J. Wilson, Sadabusi, Dalton Rasta. That is veteran versus prospects, certainly. Gaji Rabadanov. He's a PFL champion already. He wants another championship. And then, of course, the main event, Impa and Fabian Edwards. We've talked about a lot. There's Dan Hardy's going to be riding some roller coasters later tonight at Universal. But we'll make sure he's here to work tomorrow for the fights. PFL World Tournament continues tomorrow in Orlando.